Researchers discovered that 7 minutes of a specific breathing pattern triggers the same cellular cleanup your brain gets from a 3-day water fast. The autophagy breath that Tibetan monks used to maintain razor-sharp cognition into their 90s finally has molecular explanation that neuroscientists can map and validate. Fasting activates autophagy, your cell's self-cleaning system. The 2016 Nobel Prize research revealed this mechanism in detail. What remained hidden until recently is that your breath controls the exact same metabolic switches. This changes everything about how you approach cognitive maintenance and cellular renewal. You felt it? The afternoon brain fog, the sluggish thinking, the sense your mind isn't operating at full capacity anymore. You've tried intermittent fasting, keto, nootropics. Harvard researchers found something remarkable. You can trigger autophagy in your brain by changing how you breathe. What you eat becomes secondary to how you oxygenate. What I'm about to share comes from 2,000-year-old Tibetan tumo breathing that modern longevity science validated in 2023. This is a precise breath pattern that flips your cellular metabolism from growth mode to cleanup mode in 7 minutes. The technique operates through measurable biochemical pathways that scientists can now track in real time. The cellular aging epidemic operates silently, but the effects scream. By age 40, your brain's natural autophagy efficiency has already dropped by 50%. You're accumulating cellular junk faster than you can clear it. Misfolded proteins, damaged mitochondria, oxidized lipids pile up like toxic waste clogging your neurons. Modern life creates a metabolic trap. Constant eating, chronic stress, and shallow breathing keep your cells locked in mTOR-dominant growth mode. The cleanup crew, the autophagy process, never gets activated. The brain-specific consequences manifest as cognitive decline, memory glitches, stubborn brain fog, and that underlying fear of neurodegenerative disease approaching as you age. You've likely tried traditional fasting. The hunger pangs, the lifestyle disruption, the metabolic adaptation that makes it a constant battle. Compliance becomes the enemy of consistency. Here's what longevity researchers missed until 2021. You can trigger autophagy by changing your oxygen-carbon dioxide ratio. Food restriction becomes optional when you master metabolic switches through breath. In the frozen Himalayas of the 11th century, Tibetan monks developed a practice called tumo, the inner fire breath. Their ancient texts speak of burning away impurities from within. We now have the translation. They were describing autophagy activation through controlled respiratory patterns. These monks maintained cognitive sharpness and physical vitality into extreme old age through breath practices that modern science only recently decoded. The 2016 Nobel Prize in Physiology went to Yoshinori Osumi for mapping the mechanism of autophagy, cellular self-eating for renewal. Then in 2019, a Netherlands study on the Wim Hof method proved controlled breathing could activate the AMPK pathway, the master metabolic switch that triggers autophagy. In 2023, Stanford research sealed the connection. Controlled hypoxia from specific breath retention mimics the metabolic signature of fasting. Elevated ketones activated autophagy genes, suppressed mTOR. The mechanism operates with elegant precision. Breath-induced CO2 tolerance combined with intermittent hypoxia signals controlled cellular stress. Your cells interpret this as a nutrient scarcity event. This flips the metabolic switch from mTOR-driven growth to AMPK-driven cleanup. Your body initiates its cellular renewal protocols. The monks didn't know about mTOR or AMPK, but they discovered something longevity scientists only proved 3 years ago. Your breath controls your cellular age through pathways that diet alone cannot access. This is the autophagy breath, a 7-minute cellular fast that operates through 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 involves metabolic priming minutes 1 to 2. Sit with your spine straight. This optimizes vagal tone for the essential parasympathetic shift. Take a moment to notice your baseline breathing. Most people are chronic overbreathers, keeping their cells perpetually in growth mode. Introduce the concept of air hunger. Exhale fully and hold for a comfortable count. Notice the urge to breathe. That sensation is your metabolic flexibility baseline. It's the key to understanding how far your cellular cleanup mechanisms can extend. Phase 2 involves the 5-5-10 autophagy cycle, minutes 3 to 6. Now the core pattern begins. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 5. Make it a deep diaphragmatic breath, filling your lungs completely. Hold that breath in for a count of 5. This is where the biochemical magic activates. CO2 rises, which actually improves oxygen delivery to your tissues via the Bohr effect. Your cells begin to sense the metabolic shift toward cleanup mode. Exhale slowly through your nose for a count of 10. Make it controlled, emptying your lungs completely. This extended exhale maximizes CO2 retention and serves as the primary trigger for AMPK activation. Here's the science behind the ratio. That extended exhale combined with breath retention creates a state of transient controlled hypoxia. Your cells interpret this exactly as they would a fasting state. This activates the core autophagy genes, ULK1, ATG7, BCN1. The 5-5-10 ratio creates optimal CO2 tolerance training while maintaining absolute safety. It pushes your nervous system into parasympathetic dominance. Repeat this cycle 10 to 12 times. This will take approximately 3 to 4 minutes. Phase 3 involves the ketone spike protocol, minute 7. After your final 10-count exhale, hold your breath out. Hold it for your maximum comfortable duration, aiming for 30 to 60 seconds. This is the most potent trigger. The science is clear. Breath retention after a full exhale most powerfully mimics the fasted state. Studies show blood ketones can rise within minutes. mTOR gets suppressed and autophagy genes fire up rapidly. You will feel air hunger, perhaps slight discomfort, and often a wave of warmth. This signals the metabolic shift happening at the cellular level. When you need to breathe, inhale slowly and controlled. Do not gasp. Repeat this extended retention cycle 2 to 3 times. Critical coaching points apply here. Never force to the point of sharp pain or panic. Build CO2 tolerance gradually over days and weeks. Slight tingling or warmth is normal. It indicates the metabolic shift taking place. For maximum autophagy activation, do this fasted, ideally in the morning or at least 3 hours after eating. If you are pregnant, have epilepsy, severe cardiovascular conditions, or a panic disorder, this technique is unsuitable for you. Consult medical professionals before beginning any breath work practice. The air hunger sensation is the goal. It signals metabolic switching taking place at the cellular level. If you feel lightheaded, you're breathing too fast. Slow the pace and focus on extending the exhale. The effects manifest quickly. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you'll notice mental clarity as ketones cross the blood-brain barrier. You'll feel a subtle energy shift, a clean, alert clarity from improved mitochondrial efficiency. Hunger signals often reduce due to ghrelin suppression from AMPK activation. You'll likely feel slight body warmth, thermogenesis from the metabolic switch engaging. The real transformation comes from the 21-day cellular reset protocol. Do this technique once daily, preferably in a fasted state. This amplifies autophagy by 3 to 4 times baseline levels. In week 1, your cells begin recognizing the fasting signal and your autophagy genes upregulate. By week 2, mitochondrial biogenesis accelerates and your brain fog will show noticeable improvement. By week 3, you achieve sustained autophagy activation. Studies show this is the minimum time for metabolic adaptation, leading to a 15 to 20% measurable increase in autophagy efficiency. The long-term benefits backed by research are profound. Cognitive enhancement occurs through improved memory consolidation and processing speed as autophagy clears out neuronal debris. Neuroprotection develops through reduced markers for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's risk through the clearance of damaged proteins. Metabolic flexibility improves. Fasting becomes easier. Energy stabilizes. Cravings diminish. Cellular age reversal happens through consistent autophagy activation, which has been shown to improve biological age markers. You are activating the same longevity pathways as caloric restriction, which in animal models translates to 30% lifespan extension. Here's what the beginning didn't reveal. This technique goes beyond cellular cleaning. When Japanese researchers studied Tibetan monks doing this breathing, they found something extraordinary. Autophagy selectively preserves and strengthens the neural pathways associated with intention and focus. Your brain literally becomes what you concentrate on during cellular cleanup. The monks used this during manifestation practices. They understood when your cells are in renewal mode, your consciousness has maximum plasticity. Science calls it neuroplasticity during metabolic switching. The ancients called it fasting the mind into new reality. Same mechanism, different language across centuries and cultures. You're rewiring which thoughts survive the cleanup, which neural pathways get reinforced, which patterns of consciousness get preserved while damaged proteins get cleared away. You now have a 2,000-year-old technique validated by Nobel Prize-winning science. 7 minutes. Your breath and your cellular intelligence working together. Do this once tomorrow morning on an empty stomach. Notice the clarity. Then do it for 21 days and watch your brain fog vanish, your mental sharpness return, and your biological age start moving backward. Autophagy operates as your cell's built-in renewal system. You just learned how to activate it with breath. The monks discovered this truth through direct experience. The science proves the mechanism through rigorous measurement. Now you can apply it to transform your cognitive function and cellular health. This is the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern validation. This is how you take control of your cellular age through the simple act of breathing with intention and precision.